Welcome to Sweeping the Country. One more time, I'm your host, Derik Walker, my co-host, Mr. Jimmy Carter, and it is summertime, Jimmy.
It is summertime. We finally experienced in the Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, the Deep South, the 100-degree days.
Oof.
And it's nasty. I mean, it's just,
well,
no one likes 100-degree days.
And you're humid, right? I mean, you're talking 100 with humidity, right?
Well, yeah, the temperature's mid-90s. I mean, I think the real temperature a couple of days, 97, 98, with a heat index of 113, 115.
That's hot.
It's bad. It's not good. And Texas has just been living in it. They've been in it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Although their power grid is holding up, which I think a lot of people are surprised by.
Yeah, me included.
And I was reading another debate. In the Deep South, there's a lot of hydroelectric energy.
Mm-hmm.
The Tennessee Valley Authority, it's one of the smartest things anybody ever did, was to build all these hydro lakes. Now, there's a lot of controversy. Everything that's got power has controversy.
Yeah.
Whether it's oil and gas, whether it's coal,
sure,
whether it's nuke, I don't care what it is, whether the birds are being killed by the windmills, whether I can't remember what the solar panels.
Well, the fish get caught too in the turbines, right? That's
well, there's that.
Yeah, right.
I think so. But anyway, it's just these folks want to build some kind of lake, that's got dams and all kinds of dams and stuff like that in it. And the argument from the green side makes them sound so stupid.
Okay, give it to me.
They don't like it because both sides it's a crazy idea of what they want to do. It's a new kind of hydro dam, but they also sound bad on the green side, saying we just need wind and solar. We can't make it off of wind and solar.
No, it's not enough.
And it's not enough. And because there's some days you don't have wind and there's some days you don't have solar.
That's right.
And so people said, we need to explore more battery technology. We've been trying to do that forever.
Yeah, we have.
I mean, it's one of the great mysteries is how to store electricity.
Sure.
It doesn't store well.
Mm-hmm.
It can be moved around and stuff, but it doesn't store well. And that was always one of the things that, there was a problem for the space race with batteries.
Yeah.
And it still is a problem for everything we have. Although we've gotten a lot better. Our phones last a little longer now.
Yeah, they do.
Figured out a way how to use less power. But the LED light bulb, I'm sure, helps, a lot of that. But it's just hearing these green side versus the other side, it's just ridiculous.
I feel like the whole thing, nobody wants to compromise. You know what I mean? It's either got to be all or nothing, and it drives me nuts because I do think there's a place for wind power. I do think there's a place for solar.
I think it's a place for all of it.
Yeah, right. Right.
But this trying to create new technologies necessarily at a time when you need them, it doesn't always work that way. It's like going to write a hit song.
Right.
You can't just generally do that.
Right. If you could, it would be easy.
The space race did that. The space race generated a lot of new stuff, cell phone technology, defibrillators. You could just go on and on with things that the space program did in the 60s. But it's just crazy to listen to the debate in this country right now is very not uneducated. Maybe be a good place to go.
Okay, I'll do that. And
lack of vocabulary. It's sad to watch it because you see it's so political on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to meet in the middle. And, this whole thing about not going to Kohl's, not going to Target, not drinking a Bud Light and all
you're right. I want to add.
It just seems stupid.
I want to add to that. It does seem like it's an uneducated discussion, but it also seems like it's hostile. It's always hostile. Why does
everybody's mad. There's a lot of anger on both sides.
I don't get it.
Look at how much anger there. We shouldn't even be angry. Things are really pretty good.
They're not horrible.
Really. I mean, they're not horrible. But I think we're the technological change where people are seeing their jobs go away because we're changing technology. Like the time when we got away from horses and went to the horseless carriage.
That's right.
We're almost in that type of technology again, where we're having more and more computers and artificial intelligence do the work that normally people did.
Yeah, it's scary.
And, that was when accounting departments were taken over by the computer.
Yeah.
And Bill Gates. I mean, we've gone through these things before.
No,
I don't know.
You're right.
And it's never cool. I mean, if you're in radio or you're in television, these are disturbing times because, well, number one, you've got strikes. I'm afraid this strike with the writers. They may need to strike, and the actors and all the other people that are striking in
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
This might just be the death blow for several things, because people listen. There's nobody watching network television anymore.
You're
Now
right.
there's really no reason to watch it, because they're going to be in reruns now through sometime in 2024. And so how have people reacted to it? They're not just twiddling their thumbs.
Right.
They're watching Netflix. They're watching all these streaming services that have more programming on them than you can get to.
Right.
You're only limited by how many of those you want to subscribe to. I rediscovered Netflix in the last month.
Yeah,
because there's nothing on television. I mean, nothing.
There is.
I watched 10 hours of The Night Agent the other day.
Is it good or what?
Good. Yeah, absolutely. It was good.
I liked it too. I liked it too.
It took a long time to get through it, but then I watched Treason. I watched, there's a show that I started to watch it just to put something on, because I just don't want to watch the news sometimes.
Yeah.
It's called Bodyguard. And it was one of the highest rated shows in England, and it's on Netflix.
Oh, I'll have to try it. Hey, by the way, one of our podcast listeners sent me a message and said, and I've already watched it, but I don't know if you did. They said I've been binging your podcast for the last 20 days straight, and they said that they watched the show, and we hadn't talked about it, but it's a little older. It's called Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton.
Ooh, a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
That is a little older.
Yeah, so try it if you haven't tried it.
A lot of people. I never got around to it.
Yeah.
But
no, it's good.
I think he's a lawyer, isn't he?
Yep, he's a lawyer, and he's
Ted, my buddy Ted loves law shows. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm a judge's son, so I just don't really.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I was never crazy about doctor shows either, for some reason.
No, Marcus
but I love
Welby.
Police shows, crime shows, police, like any kind of cops.
Yeah,
and any kind of military. I love all that, and the spy thrillers and the MI6. MI5, FBI, CIA, all that stuff. I love all that.
Yeah, no, definitely good, the ones you mentioned. But if you haven't and you like that kind of stuff, the attorney stuff, try Goliath if you haven't tried it yet. It's really good. But you're right. There's so much content available that didn't used to be.
And there's no content on the networks.
You're right.
None.
You're right.
They're running idiot game shows that you would just, even if you were in prison, you'd have a hard time on.
Well, and also reruns. It seems like they're running stuff from 1985.
They're rerunning. Yeah, there's some of that, and then it's just, it's just bad.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing they have done, and I've noticed this, they pushed NASCAR to prime time on the weekend, just to give them something to show that's new.
Yeah,
and they're doing it again this week with Atlanta. I mean, these networks. And then ESPN, Disney's they get rid of 7,000 people.
Right.
They just did a whole bunch of people at ESPN. I don't know. I think some of these people are real smart, and they're going to get out while they're going. It's the way you can get out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of these streaming services that are so rich and getting richer. You saw where Apple became the first $3 trillion company.
Unreal.
In the last week.
Unreal.
And heck, I got thousands of dollars I'm just looking at right here of their stuff. And I'm just one person out of 400 million people. God knows how many around the world.
Add me to the list.
So I'm not surprised.
Add me to the list. And we had this discussion at work the other day. We were all talking, and there was a couple guys that were using non-Apple. I said, well, it's so easy. And they go, well, we don't care. We'll never use it because it's a giant, conglomerate and blah, blah, blah.
That's what, and again, our guy that won't listen to the podcast until it's 2 weeks old, Ted, and who's listening to it right now.
Hey,
probably.
Ted, shout out.
He won't go Apple. He does have an iPad.
Oh, he does.
And I think he enjoys the iPad, but he won't, he does the Android phone.
Right, right.
And my friend Steve, he's got an iPad. He likes it.
Yeah.
He won't do a Apple phone.
I don't know. It's just easy for me. That's all. It's easy. I guess it's a cult. Maybe, I don't know. We're in it.
I want them all talking together.
Yeah.
I want the iPhone talking to my iMac.
I'm talking to you on an iPad.
Mac Studio over here. And I got iPads.
Hey,
I want them all to talk to each other.
This is an Apple laptop. This is an iPad we're on.
Oh, I got that too down here, but it's down there.
Oh, my God.
And it's just, it changes so rapidly. I'm mad because I bought something with an M1 chip, not to get the tech
now
talk
it's
here.
slow. Now it's slow.
But no, but almost immediately they've come out with the same, like 3 or 4 months after me, the M2 chip.
Well, that's
so now
what
I
they
feel
do.
like,
That's why they're billionaires. But listen, there's one simple thing that makes me stick with it, and they're not sponsoring us in any way or anything like that.
No.
But Jimmy, the product just works.
It does.
That's it.
It generally works. It's generally. I have had a virus, believe it or not,
Have you?
and
I've not had one.
yes, I have,
Yeah.
and they fought it with me. They don't like to talk about them, but
Yeah.
it can happen if
Fascinating.
you download it from somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's it's just it works. Now I know some people and their accounting software. Well, I've got Microsoft Word.
Mm-hmm.
I type my columns and stuff with Word on Apple.
That's what I do too.
But some people don't have. I don't know. Maybe some of the accounting software that's written doesn't. It's not written for Apple. It's written for
Yeah.
Microsoft, and they
Yeah.
can't. In certain jobs, are forced to do it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
That I understand that, but just arbitrarily saying I ain't gonna do the Apple. I mean, what do you think? Microsoft's not a cult or something
Right,
or whatever?
exactly.
I
Or
mean,
also
they're the same
billionaires.
people. Yes, crazy.
Mhm.
But the thing that's got me in the last week is something that everybody can relate to. I saw a picture today. We're doing this right now over the 4th of July holiday.
Yeah.
And I'm planning or trying to plan my first getaway in several years. And it's not going to include an airplane.
Okay, so you're driving or you're taking Uber?
Driving.
Okay, driving.
I'm going to go to some places, that I've never been, and I'm running out of those that are reasonably in the South and the East.
Okay.
Well, first of all, hotel rooms are high as a kite.
Okay, so are you?
I make sure that every hotel room I book, I go to Travel Advisor. I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
And I read the reviews.
That's a good idea. I think that's good.
And I do it every time. I will not book a hotel that I don't read a lot of reviews on.
Yeah.
And then you take some of them with a grain of salt.
Sure.
And just you have to. But if you see a consistent issue that they do, then you go, I think I won't go there. In fact, I changed off of hotels. One said the carpet was stinky and this and this and this.
Yeah, sure.
And I said, why am I I'll pay $40 more and go to a place maybe that's not like that,
Can I ask you a question?
You're going to spend a lot of money on rooms. Average room now is really $250 with tax.
And that's at a hotel. Let me ask you.
That's Hilton's or any of those things. Hilton,
the big
Marriott,
brands.
all those.
Have you thought about doing an Airbnb or trying it in one of the spots?
I've never. No, see, I'm like the Apple cult people on that. I just don't. I don't understand it completely.
Okay.
And so I just stay away from it.
Okay.
And I like having the services of a hotel.
Yeah, it's nice.
I like if I'm staying, now they won't clean your room every day. That's the new thing.
That's the
they
thing.
claim it after COVID. Before COVID, they cleaned your room every day.
Yeah, they would come every day.
And now they claim, that's all a lot of baloney. But they don't have a lot of these people just don't have enough employees.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's causing some of these reviews to come back poorly because they don't have enough people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in every job. And certainly I've watched fast food. I mean, good Lord, the other night just a McDonald's was 2 hamburgers, fries, and a Coke. I think that was it or something. It was like $10.
Yeah. $10
when it used to be like $4 or $5. Everything has gone up so much. And I heard this guy on CNBC, I think, or one of these business channels, and he was a really reasonable sounding person. And he was just saying that he didn't know any way in the world that we can't avoid a recession because of how much people are spending versus how much they're making versus how much things cost. You're seeing all these people, and look at the California people, the writers and all that. Everybody wants more money. Okay. But as soon as you get more money, the business is going to charge more and so it's the status quo.
Right.
And so that's what the Fed's been trying to do, raise the interest rates to slow the economy down to stop a lot of that. And it's a real dance. And right now, I think, I don't know. I just don't see how regular people are affording to go away for a week. Now, Airbnb, I don't know how much cheaper that stuff is.
I don't either. I'm just curious if you'd ever tried it because I've not tried it.
No. I mean, I got security issues and neighborhood issues and just I feel more comfortable with my peers at a hotel than I do in a neighborhood that I know nothing about.
Yeah, I do too. I agree with you.
I don't know. I mean, I've been in news way too long, and I think of all kinds of things that go on.
Yeah.
And I'm just not comfortable with it. But I know people do it all the time, and it's kind of like the Apple thing. What you don't know, you're scared of.
Okay, fair.
And
fair.
So on what limited time I have to be off,
Yeah.
I don't want it. I'm not going to take that chance.
Okay, fair.
And
So
that's why here's my friends, and luckily I had experience and I helped them with it. They had to go to Chicago before they could go to London at a meeting up there. So they were going to go up there during the week. Took a one-way rent a car, which was like $700 for a week, which is about what it costs now for a week for a rent a car for a decent size one. Yeah, and so we get up there, and they were going to leave at. They were going to leave at, I think, 6 or 7 o'clock to catch an 11 o'clock flight at JFK. Well, from Chicago, it's only like an hour. It's not very far.
Yeah.
And you lose an hour in time, but you know, it's an hour and a half connection, 2-hour connection. I said, with all the stuff that's going on out there, with the FAA and the weather and everything else, you have got to call them up. You're a business class passenger. You got to call them up and say, I need to move my time.
Yeah.
You need to move it to the minimum at 2 o'clock. And I would even leave at 11. I'd leave that morning. And then you say, well, I'm going to have a 6-hour layoff. I said, you pray that you'll have a 6-hour layover.
Instead of a 24-hour layover, yeah.
Instead of, well, worse than that, because you miss your flight on the international, you're screwing up your reservation on the other end with hotels, your non-refundable stuff, all kinds of cancellation, all kinds of problems.
You're so right. You
don't want to miss your cruise, and you don't want to miss an international flight.
My wife travels a lot.
So they moved. They moved the flight.
Good.
And even so, the flight they would have taken got canceled.
Yeah.
And the flight that they were taking at 2 didn't leave till 5:23.
Well,
so they barely got in, 2 hours or so before the international flight took off. So
look at last week. How many flights got canceled? 9,000 or something like that. It was crazy. My wife travels for business a lot, like you have over the years. You've traveled more than anybody I know, and so you know this. But she always takes the first flight to the destination because
that's always good.
Yeah, because then there's options if for some reason that one gets canceled or delays, and she always has that 6 and 5 hour layover. But she never.
The problem with taking the first flight of the day.
Yeah.
The only problem that I know of is, again, staffing. TSA doesn't sometimes get enough people there.
Yeah.
And so they have to do a limited one-arm route. They still got to check everybody, and it goes a little slower.
Yeah.
And the line can be a little longer. And then it's just, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, they got a new thing called Clear now, which is pretty fantastic.
That's been around. I was
if you travel TSA pre-check. TSA pre-check.
There was TSA pre-check that cost $80-something, and you had to go in to sit with somebody.
And now it's Clear. You go Clear, takes an eye scan, a retina scan, and push you all the way up to the front. But you pay a lot for that. I think it's a couple $100.
Yeah,
a year.
That was being tested in Orlando.
Yeah. Big
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And international passengers. If you're going to do any of that stuff, you got to do every trick in the trade to be able to. You got to be able to have privileges for the lounges.
Everything.
You got to pay up for that.
Yeah.
You got to try to upgrade every chance you get along the way.
And that used to be free.
It's just gonna beat the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Those traveling is just gonna beat you. These rent-a-cars, Judas Priest, they are so expensive. I mean, they've got most of them have just little cars now.
Yeah.
Have little subcompacts. They're calling some things like a Ford Explorer now elite, something elite. That's like the top of the end,
So are you renting a car, or are you taking your own car? Are you going to take your own car?
I don't want to run the miles up on my car, so as it stands right now, we're going to rent a car.
Gotcha.
And let them get it's unlimited miles, so let them get the miles. And go ahead and pay the $500 for insurance. So that way, if somebody runs into it or whatever, you just walk away from it.
Yeah, that's easier too.
It's worth it. Because we've had inevitably on a lot of these trips, we get a broken windshield from something, particularly out west.
Yeah.
You seem to always get a broken windshield.
Yeah, that's true.
Or something's going on all the time. So, that's just one less. But it's just, I don't see how people afford it. I really don't.
So
with kids, every meal you're taking now, I think every meal you do just about of any kind of restaurant, even Cracker Barrels or, any of the chain restaurants, I think each person at least is getting $17 or $18 a piece.
I think that's fair. I mean, I think
Close
that's fair.
to 20.
But you do that.
Mine was 24 at lunch today, and I really didn't have anything special.
But
Had a barbecue sandwich, 2 pieces of corn,
oh my God.
a dessert, and a tea, and it was $24.
Okay, so you got basically you got 100 and a half a day, 140 a day for rental car. You got your hotel, which is $200 to $300 a night. Yeah.
The average price for a hotel at a chain hotel. I'm talking about staying at the No-Tel Motel. I'm talking about
Hyatt,
staying at Hilton Garden Inn,
yeah,
Hampton,
Marriott,
and even those. They're with tax. Now the taxes are high as a kite. And on the rent-a-car, for a $500 a week rent-a-car, I'm just using that as a ground ball thing. It's going to be $1,000 because by the time you do insurance, if you do it, that's $300, and then there's at least $100 in taxes and recovery fees and all of that stuff. And then how can people go to concerts anymore? I wanted to go see Lionel and Earth, Wind and Fire in Austin. Okay. There wasn't a ticket I could find in there that wasn't $500 or $600.
Jeez.
And George Strait's really good tickets were being let. They called them production tickets.
Yeah.
That they thought they were going to need for production, and they free them up, weeks before a show.
Yeah.
They were all $1,000.
Holy cow, Jimmy.
I mean, how can people, they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're somehow doing it. They're doing it.
Well, I
just don't think that can last. I don't think that can last.
I agree with you. I think some of that's loose credit. I mean, they're just running up some credit card debt, and who knows?
Or they save money or whatever it is, but I just don't think it can sustain.
You think they're hoping that maybe Biden will forgive credit card debt? Like he was doing with. Okay, sorry. So wait, I want to add this up. So you got $1,000 a week for the car. You got what, $200 to $300 a night for the hotel?
Well, let's say you're 700. Let's say you're 1,400.
You're at least 1,400.
I'd say you're 2,000 for a week.
Okay.
Of hotels.
Now you got gas too. You got 2,000.
Yeah, gas is going to be a couple of hundred. Yeah, I mean if you go anywhere for a week, I think you can just plan on spending $3,000 to $4,000.
Yeah, I think you're right because this is gas and food. Gas and food, you're at 1,000. You're at 1,000 for the car rental. That's 2,000. 4,000. Now you're 2,000. Yeah, you're between $4,000 and $6,000, and you're going by yourself. That's just one person. I mean, if I figured, a guest with you.
Well, I'd say with 2 people, it is cheaper because you're splitting the price.
You're splitting the car.
But either way, you're still doing $2,500, $3,000.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money
for 10 days of entertainment.
And you haven't even gone anywhere. I mean, if you showed up at Universal Studios, tack on another $300 a piece.
Oh yeah, well, like I bought tickets to this one show, and it was, I took the boat ride in Norfolk Harbor. It's like $72. I mean, and that's for just an hour or two. I mean, you're spending money left and right.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Ferries. There's just everything in the world out there. Anyway. It costs a lot of money to do stuff. So people are trying to do some closer to home trips, that kind of stuff. I can see that. But if you really want to try to get away, and yes, the Airbnb might be an answer for some people if you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, if you're brave.
Somebody's condo and all that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, no doubt. I've not done it. I haven't done it myself, so I'm just curious if you
have
done
a bunch of people that have, and I know some people that own properties that they rent, and
they make money too.
They do it, and they're making money, but they're always spending money because somebody that is torn up their sofa, or someone broke their television, or did something.
Yeah, that's also true.
They're always having to replace stuff. I mean, it's not without some expense if you're a renter.
Let me ask you a question. 4th of July holiday. We're doing this over the holiday. Of course, you're going to hear this on the holiday, the day before the holiday, right now. But you notice anything in your area? Where I am in the Boise Metro, southern Idaho, people have vanished. There's nobody around. I don't know.
They're not here either. I've been in Nashville and Birmingham, and every day feels like Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they're gone. I don't know where they're gone.
I don't either.
But they're gone.
Yeah, I don't either.
And they're at the beach. I saw a picture today of Gulf Shores, Alabama, and it looks like, number one, I don't want to be at a beach situation where all these people are over a holiday. I mean, I purposely grounded myself during this holiday. I don't want to be out there with everybody on the Memorial Day or 4th of July or any of that stuff, because it's just traffic. I mean, it's not vacation doing that.
No, it's stressful. My grandmother used to call it amateur day or amateur night, like New Year's Eve.
That's called New Year's Eve, is amateur night,
But you're right.
That's the last time. But when you're an amateur, you go do it.
Right.
And I did.
But
right. At this point, I'm not going to do it.
You're a professional now.
Myself out there, on these planes where there's just chaos. I mean, people are going to places and they're having to stay 2 and 3 extra days because they can't get out. All it takes is a storm to do a little something to jigger it up,
Yeah.
and then you're all messed up. I
Yeah.
mean, it stays messed up for a couple of days.
Yeah, and it for whatever reason it didn't used to be that way. Maybe there were more planes. Maybe there were.
Well, they're using smaller planes.
Yeah.
You know, they parked all the 747s, and they're using the big planes, you know, on the international flights. But we used to use a lot more big planes cross country, and even some of that. I took a 747 once between Atlanta and Orlando,
which is short,
you know, because it was going somewhere else, but it was just, you know, it had to fly that leg, so we had people on it.
Yeah,
and used to fly L-1011s on things more.
Yeah, DC-10s, the big old thing.
Yeah, DC-10s, all that stuff. But they parked all that.
Yeah,
and so now they're on these Airbuses where everybody's crammed in there.
Oh yeah, sold out,
like Vienna sausages, and sold out. And I don't want to be anywhere that bad.
I don't want to be a Vienna sausage. I don't.
But I know you sure can't afford to get a big rent-a-car. I mean,
yeah,
you sure.
If they even have it.
What was the Tahoe? I think a Yukon, for example.
Yeah, luxury.
For 2 weeks in a Yukon was like $2,500.
Oh my gosh!
Really?
Yeah, no way.
It was 2 months of a big fat car payment. You know?
Yeah, no thanks. No, I don't want that.
I tell you, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. And then, not to mention, if you ever pulled the boner and went to Paris.
Yeah.
Oh God,
you're out 20 grand.
They're just rioting over there. You know, they're just full blown at war with each other in there.
This is why, Jimmy, I'm looking at real estate in Portugal. Now, you may say I'm nuts, but
Lord.
No, I'm telling you, the Azore Islands, you got time, Google it and pull up some properties there. You'll find stuff for $150,000, $200,000 overlooking the beach. You pay cash and get out.
Yeah, and they're people, and they're still got man-eating tribes that are in some of these places. And you taste just like chicken.
Hey, listen, they make some of their food in lava tubes. I mean, talk about efficiency.
Like there's no chance of that ever happening.
It's all volcanic.
Someone said you better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Hey, I'm just looking for a cheap vacation.
There isn't anything. I mean, you know, God, can you imagine? I mean, you're out there in the West. I'm sure that Yellowstone, for example, is like the Long Island Expressway.
Oh, I'm sure it's packed, yeah.
And that's no fun. I've been there when it's busy.
Yeah,
it's no fun.
You got to go in the off season.
These things are no fun. You got to do that. You cannot go out there when everybody's doing this.
Yeah,
it's just, you know. And I'm going to the end of July, and I'm hoping I'll hit a little bit of, you know, where everybody's not there. I'm just really hoping.
Yeah, I hope so too. Well, the kids, when do the kids go back to school? August. You're not going to get any of that.
Now they're going back. You know, the colleges. It's not far into August before they start going now. You know, and certainly in public schools, they are going about the 8th, 9th, or 10th in some cases.
Oh, so maybe you'll get a little corner of that.
And then
too.
Did you see where? I don't know if you're having this out there. You know, the politically incorrect people. And I get it in some places. I do understand it. That fireworks are becoming more and more not green.
Because of what? The fires?
Because of everything. Because of what you said. People blow them up and it leaves crap in your yard.
Yeah, that's
starts
true.
Fires.
That is true.
Dangerous. Blows off arms and legs and everything else. And they're being replaced this year in many places, you know, that don't want to spend, not to mention those big city.
Those are $50,000 to $100,000. Yeah.
More than that.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Jeez.
You know, for some of them. And they're replacing them with drones. Have you seen those drones?
I haven't seen one live, but yeah, I've seen that.
I haven't either, but I know they exist.
It looks cool.
And so they're doing that. Yeah, that's replacing them in some cities. Is the drone?
I'd watch that. I mean, I do like the boom of the firework, but after you've seen it for 50 years,
you know what though? I had the boom last night. Dogs can't stand that.
Oh, the animals hate it. The animals hate it.
And it was off in the distance. I said, man, this must be what the people, you know, in Ukraine are hearing. Boom,
oh, Jimmy.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You know, artillery fire.
Oof.
So that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it does.
And, it's just I don't know.
I may go drone.
Maybe the time has come for some of these fireworks things. I don't know. I mean, it's like everything else has its season, and
yeah,
I don't know.
It runs its course, man, and things change. I mean, you're talking about accountants being out of work, and now the computers do all the work. It's kind of handy. When's the last time you balanced a checkbook? I haven't done it in 20 years.
I
10.
got to think about where my checkbook is.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, I write a check. I rarely have to. I don't even have to write. I don't remember.
I don't
last time.
either. I can look at my bank on my phone. I don't even have to, open my computer anymore. It's just,
Well, here's another thing. The postage just went up.
geez, I haven't mailed anything.
I think a stamp now is 60, 67.
It's
up real
still
high.
too cheap. That was always too cheap. They never made any money,
Yeah.
that post office. That was just a crazy thing. But I mean, I
don't have anything. I have one check,
that you mail.
2 checks I get in the mail
Yeah.
every month, and that's the only. And I don't have to send anything in the mail.
I don't either.
So-
I send nothing. I get advertisements. Sometimes I get a birthday card, something like that. But I don't. Other than that, I don't get much. To be honest with
No,
you,
I don't.
I don't know how
And,
they survive.
Well, I mean, I don't either because everybody emails
Yeah,
now.
yeah, no doubt
I
about
never
it.
understood. See, in the Congress, this is what's happening. History's repeating itself. I think we really screwed things up when the internet was allowed to just be whatever it wanted to be and grow as wild as a weed.
Yeah, sure, freewheeling.
So, they wanted to hide the Playboy magazine under the table at the 7-Eleven,
Mhm.
but then they let computers in their home where the worst porn in the world
Sure.
was at your child's fingertips by just typing in a couple of letters.
Yeah.
And then the virus and just all this stuff. So with no regulation for the internet, to me, was a strategic boo-boo. So we're getting ready to do it again.
Yeah.
You've got some smart, at least you've got some smart Republican and Democrats trying to bring them together about this AI stuff.
Yeah, they got to do something about it.
This AI, they better get under control of that real quick
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to blow up everything that's a copyright. That's all kinds of stuff. I listened to this the other day when someone was doing a demonstration for me.
Mm-hmm.
They said doing kind of a name that tune.
Yeah.
So I heard and I heard the piano playing, and so I was able to identify the song just on the piano.
Yeah.
And it was Saturday in the Park.
Yeah, beautiful song.
Well, what the AI had done, it stripped away all the other instruments but the piano,
Mhm.
and all you were hearing was the piano, and then way back in the background you heard something else. But it can take individual instruments
Oh
out
yeah.
of a song, and where you're just hearing the bass.
Oh
Or
yeah.
you're just, it's crazy.
Jimmy,
it can do stuff you can't even imagine.
I can have your voice right now and run it through AI, and it can create another podcast with your voice with you never even knowing it, unless you heard it, and you'd say, "I didn't say that, but it sounds like you," because AI made your voice the tone.
They got to put something in because they think people are going to get scammed.
Oh yeah.
Because people's voice is going to get taken. Then they're
Oh,
going to say,
it's- yeah.
"Hey, mommy, I need money. I'm in jail."
Right.
it's-
All of
people are
that.
gonna- you got to, and then these people are still sending out crap on the internet. We still haven't been able to put together. Where people putting scams and viruses.
Right.
I'm for sending cruise missiles to their house. I mean, we can't get. I think
Give
that's
me your
just
IP
terrible.
address and zap them. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're getting ready. Got something for you here.
Right.
Stay
Gift.
home.
I love it. Well, listen. Have a very happy 4th of July, and hopefully your neighborhood isn't inundated with the fireworks. And
I've got some real good barbecue ribs.
ooh, that sounds
pulled
good.
Pork and some
Sounds
kind of
good.
something.
All
So
right.
that's good.
All right, we're doing hot dogs. We're doing hot dogs, chips, and pasta salad. So we're keeping it real.
But
Just
after
like-
I'd looked at this trip stuff, I may want to do beanie weenies because it's about all anybody's going to be able to afford for a while after we
Beanie
go
weenie.
on great adventure.
I love it. For us here at Sweeping the Country, that's going to do it this week. Happy 4th of July. Jimmy Carter on the other end. I'm Derek Walker.
And happy birthday, America. All
Happy
right.
birthday, America.